I'm Roy Hobbs, and this is INN News. We begin with yet another fatal police shooting of an unarmed man that's keeping another American town on edge. Lindsay Janis reports from Madison, Wisconsin, on how community leaders are calling for restraint.
Give us a candlelight vigil Sunday night and church services. Residents of Madison, Wisconsin mourning the death of Tony Robinson, an unarmed 19-year-old shot to death by a police officer.
Ask the hard questions, say the hard things, but you better shake hands and you better hug before it's over.
Frustrations boiling over in one church.
I'm tired of going to funerals where young black men are laid out in front of the altar and having to try to find some encouraging words to suggest that everything gonna be all right. I'm starting to feel like everything ain't gonna be all right.
Some venting their anger on the streets peacefully.
Black lives matter.
Madison on edge since Friday night when 45-year-old officer Matt Kenny responded to multiple disturbance calls, forcing his way into a home.
Shot fired.
Police say those shots fired after Officer Kenny came under attack by Robinson, who was under supervision after pleading guilty to being party to an armed robbery last year. His mother is desperate for answers.
He loved his family. He loved his friends. He was never hurt a person, never.
Meanwhile, community leaders trying to bring together a divided city.
Let's figure out how we move forward as a community and as a country, and let's just do the right thing.
The commemoration marking 50 years since the brutal civil rights clash in Selma, Alabama continues today. Participants will march 54 miles for 5 days from Selma to Montgomery, in part to remember the 1965 Voting Rights March that turned into Bloody Sunday when police beat down hundreds of demonstrators at the foot of the Edmund Pettus Bridge. The journey culminates with a rally at the Alabama State Capitol Friday. The University of Oklahoma chapter of Sigma Alpha Epsilon is shut down after a racist video surfaced yesterday. That video reportedly shows members of the fraternity singing a racist chant. In addition, all of the members are suspended, and those who are responsible for the incident may have their membership privileges revoked permanently. OU's president says the university was investigating the video, which was posted to YouTube. Hillary Clinton still not commenting on that email controversy, but that's not stopping others from weighing in. Now we're finally hearing from the president himself. Bazi Kanani has more from Washington.
Hillary Clinton in the spotlight this weekend.
Chelsea and I did a little talk on Snapchat.
While the former Secretary of State isn't taking questions about her decision to use a private email account for government business, this weekend her boss revealed not even he knew. President Obama told CBS News how he found out.
At the same time, everybody else learned it through news reports. The policy of my administration is to encourage transparency, and that's why my emails, the BlackBerry that I carry around, all those records are available and archived.
Clinton is not the first Secretary of State to use private email. General Colin Powell, serving under George W. Bush, also sent some correspondence from a private account.
A lot of the emails that came out of my personal account went into the State Department system. They were addressed to State Department employees and the state.gov domain.
On ABC's This Week, he told George Stephanopoulos that he couldn't comment on Clinton, but when the State Department asked him to turn over his emails, he didn't save them.
They were all unclassified, and most of them, I think, are pretty benign, so I'm not terribly concerned, even if they were able to recover them.
Still, colleagues and critics say Clinton should start talking.
I think that she needs to step up and come out and state exactly what the situation is.
Once this shadow of doubt has been placed, I think it's going to linger throughout a presidential campaign should she decide to run.
In her original statement, Clinton says she turned over all relevant emails to the State Department, totaling 55,000 pages. Well, it's been a year since Flight 370 disappeared and still no signs of the 239 people on board. There were vigils over the weekend in Malaysia. Meanwhile, new details show the battery of the underwater locator beacon for the plane's data recorder expired more than a year before the plane vanished, so it might not have been working at all. The search to find Flight 370 has cost close to $100 million so far, and only about 40% of the ocean floor crews intended to cover has been completed. Airstrikes by the U.S.-led coalition hit a Syrian oil refinery held by ISIS. Activists say last night's strikes targeted a refinery near the Turkish-Syrian border. It's estimated the strikes killed about 30 people. ISIS, which controls about a third of Syria and Iraq, sells black market oil to fund its conquest. 5 arrests are made overseas as this weekend in the death of a popular Russian opposition leader. One of the men charged even confessed to taking part in the killing. Don Champion reports.
3 of the men arrested tried covering their faces as they were led into court Sunday. They're among 5 people either charged or suspected in the brazen assassination of Boris Nemtsov more than a week ago. This man, Zaur Dadayev, is a former deputy commander for the Chechen police and allegedly confessed behind closed doors to taking part in the killing. Nemtsov was a former deputy minister and a sharp critic of Russian President Vladimir Putin. He was gunned down hours after doing this radio interview on February 27th. This grainy webcam video from a Russian TV station captured Nemtsov and his girlfriend walking on a bridge moments before he was shot 4 times in the back. The killing happened in the shadows of the Kremlin, which only added to suspicions that the hit was ordered by the top levels of government. So far, the men arrested this weekend have not said who ordered the killing, and some of them have denied involvement. All of them have Chechen backgrounds.
Authorities say a 6th man suspected of taking part in the killing blew himself up with a grenade Saturday when police showed up to his apartment. Investigators are looking into the poisoning death of a show dog at the prestigious Crufts Dog Show. This Irish setter named Jaeger placed 2nd in his class at the competition in Birmingham, England. A day later, he fell ill at home in Belgium and died before a vet could treat him. An autopsy found cubes of beef in his stomach were laced with poison. Jaeger had won numerous competitions across Europe. Crufts is the equivalent to Westminster in the States. A miraculous story of survival out of Utah. A fisherman spotted a car upside down in the frigid waters of the Spanish Fork River. When police and firefighters arrived, they jumped into the icy water. They found a young mother dead in the driver's seat and then spotted a baby girl upside down strapped in a car seat in the back. They quickly flipped the car over. She was alive, and it turns out she was in that car for at least 14 hours.
The car seat could have possibly been out of the water.
The 18-month-old is named Lily, and she is critical but in stable condition. Her mother, 25-year-old Lynn Grossbeck, was on her way home from her parents' home on Friday night when her car ran up a cement barrier, launching the car into the river below. Investigators believe the impact killed Grossbeck. And coming up next, how a long winter changes the way we spend money, plus burning calories while watching the big screen. Where is this happening? That's next on INN News.
If you're disabled and unable to work, pay attention to the following message.
If you're one of the millions of Americans who are disabled and unable to work, you may be entitled to disability benefits through Social Security. Receiving benefits is your right if you suffer from a physical or mental disability. Whether you're applying for the first time or you've already been denied, we can help. You'll be matched up with an advocate who will evaluate your situation, handle your application, deal with Social Security for you, and handle all appeals. Best of all, there's no fee until you receive your benefits. To get started, call the number on your screen now. And keep in mind, there are a vast number of conditions that make you eligible for disability benefits and dozens of additions that you may not be aware of. So if you're disabled and unable to work, call the Citizens Disability Helpline today for a free, no-obligation consultation.
Call 1-800-340-8639. Call now.
Attention parents of boys who took Risperdal. Risperdal is for the treatment of ADHD, autism, and bipolar disorder, and has been linked to gynecomastia, a medical condition in which boys develop female breasts. If you are a parent of a boy who has developed female breasts after taking Risperdal, you could be entitled to substantial financial compensation.
For free information and a free consultation, call 1-800-964-0271.
If you're one of the millions of Americans who are disabled and unable to work, you may be entitled to disability benefits through Social Security. Receiving benefits is your right if you suffer from a physical or mental disability. Whether you're applying for the first time or you've already been denied, we can help. You'll be matched up with an advocate who will evaluate your situation, handle your application, and deal with Social Security for you. And best of all, there's no fee until you receive benefits. Call today.
Gas prices are on the rise, up 28 cents a gallon in the past month. The average price of a gallon of regular unleaded now stands at $2.45. Demand is increasing as spring approaches, and the price of crude oil is rising, two factors that probably mean we haven't seen the end of price increases at the pump. The tough winter changed the way many Americans spent money the past couple of months. They ordered in more rather than eating out, flew more frequently to warmer places, and shopped less. Overall, shopping traffic was down 12.5% in February compared to last year, and not surprisingly, travel to the southeast, including Florida, surged in January, soaring 24% compared to last year. You may someday be able to spend money at an even larger mall than Minnesota's Mall of America. The same company wants to build a $4 billion mall and amusement park in the Miami area. The developer, the 555 Group, says the project would employ 25,000 construction workers and 25,000 permanent employees once it's open. In the $22 billion a year health club industry, gyms vie for business with amenities like smoothie bars and Zumba classes. Some chains are also attracting new members with a little help from Hollywood. Susan McGinnis has that story.
You won't find plush seats or tubs of popcorn in this movie theater. The big screen and surround sound are drawing gym goers to a new workout destination, the Cardio Theater.
It actually feels like a movie theater, except instead of sitting, you're running.
Tony Hernandez says he hasn't been to the movies since he joined Retro Fitness 3 months ago.
It distracts you from actually running, which a lot of people hate. So you're just watching a movie, and by the time the movie's over, you ran like 3-4 miles.
The movie changes daily, mostly comedies or action flicks like this screening of G.I. Joe.
Always like a good surprise to come in and just see which movie.
The gym also takes requests.
They call in just to make sure that their favorite movie is playing.
Assistant manager Sharon Lipford says the Cardio Theater makes the gym less of a chore for some members.
Their mind is lost in the movie, so they're not really thinking about working out.
Emma Shabest says there's another advantage to the theater.
Well, it's dark, so no one's judging you, you can't really see it.
She prefers action movies for their intensity, but has to be really hooked to stay to the end.
They played Frozen the other day, and I watched the whole thing.
An entertaining way to burn calories until the credits roll.
Gyms that choose to show films on site must pay an annual fee for each location to the Motion Picture Licensing Corporation. Well, Chappie is the #1 movie at the box office. The story of a robot that can think and feel made an estimated $13 million in its opening weekend. Karn artist flick Focus fell to #2 in its second week, making more than $10 million. British sequel, The Second Best, Marigold Hotel, came in third with a little over $8 million. Well, it's been a long time since we've seen this classic sneaker. The Reebok Pump is back with an updated style. The company first released the Pump sneaker 26 years ago. The latest version, the Z-Pump Fusion, moves the air pump mechanism to the side of the shoe. They cost $110 and they come in 6 colors. The positive effect spouses can have on each other when it comes to exercise. Plus, we've heard about the dangers of energy drinks to kids, and there may be a reason why they really want to drink them. What parents need to watch out for, and the facts about flats, how they can damage your feet. That's next in Your Health.
Do you think your computer may have picked up a virus, unwanted cookie, or perhaps something from the web you are unaware of? If so, come to the Answer Desk at your local Microsoft store, where they will diagnose and do a complete cleaning of your Windows software for free.
At Microsoft Store Answer Desk, we offer a wide variety of free services, such as free malware cleanups, which will help you clean viruses off your PC, free PC tune-ups, which will help you speed up your device, as well as extended diagnostics, which will really help you understand what's going on with your device.
Visit MicrosoftStore.com.
Attention parents of boys who took Risperdal. Risperdal is for the treatment of ADHD, autism, and bipolar disorder, and has been linked to gynecomastia, a medical condition in which boys develop female breasts. If you are a parent of a boy who has developed female breasts after taking Risperdal, you could be entitled to substantial financial compensation.
For free information and a free consultation, call 1-800-964-0271.
If you're disabled and unable to work, pay attention to the following message.
If you're one of the millions of Americans who are disabled and unable to work, you may be entitled to disability benefits through Social Security. Receiving benefits is your right if you suffer from a physical or mental disability. Whether you're applying for the first time or you've already been denied, we can help. You'll be matched up with an advocate who will evaluate your situation, handle your application, deal with Social Security for you, and handle all appeals. Best of all, there's no fee until you receive your benefits. To get started, call the number on your screen now. And keep in mind, there are a vast number of conditions that make you eligible for disability benefits and dozens of additions that you may not be aware of. So if you're disabled and unable to work, call the Citizens Disability Helpline today for a free, no-obligation consultation.
Call 1-800-340-8639. Call now.
Ads claim energy drinks jumpstart our day or even gives us wings, but they also have some side effects. Now, a new study suggests that energy drink companies are targeting teens to increase sales. Here with more is Dr. Timothy Johnson.
Energy drinks. They pack a caffeine punch much stronger than soda or coffee. And for adolescents, high caffeine intake can be linked with health problems like anxiety and poor sleep. In fact, many pediatricians urge teens to avoid energy drinks altogether. But TV advertising may be turning this into an uphill battle. Dartmouth researchers investigated a year's worth of TV ads, finding energy drink commercials appeared more than 83,000 times, totaling over 600 hours of airtime. Nearly half of all energy drink ads on 10 channels, many of which have kids as young as 12 as their target audience. The American Medical Association has pushed for a ban on marketing these drinks to children and adolescents. But such a ban has yet to happen, so it's up to parents and teens to be aware of the potential health risks of these popular drinks, so that the next time that cool energy drink commercial airs, kids will think twice before buying it. With this Medical Minute, I'm Dr. Timothy Johnson.
Beefing up your exercise regimen can rub off on your spouse. That's according to researchers at Johns Hopkins. They found that counseling couples together about physical activity improve their health, with 70% of husbands getting more fit after wives met recommended exercise guidelines. New data suggests a link between antidepressants and improved cardiovascular health. Researchers in Salt Lake City report that patients with moderate to severe depression had a 53% lower risk of fatal heart disease and stroke when treated with antidepressants. A new study from the CDC highlights the growing numbers of families with a loved one suffering memory loss. Researchers tracking data in just 13 states found 4 million American households, about 10 million people, are dealing with at least one adult who has confusion or memory loss. Ballet flats may be causing some serious harm to your feet. Mara Schiavocampo reports.
For so many women, these are a shoe staple. Sensible, comfy flats. But experts warn some of these shoes may have you walking to the doctor, possibly leading to a host of health problems that could even require surgery, including toe infection. Caused when tight, pointy-toed flats put pressure on toenails, causing them to bend and become ingrown, which in some cases, if left untreated, could lead to a bone infection. That's exactly what happened to 17-year-old Hannah Butler, who needed surgery to remove ingrown toenails caused by repeated use of the wrong flats.
The reason had to be something unnatural, something that I was doing. I brought my shoes in to my doctor, and he figured that that was causing the multiple ingrown toenails.
Experts say the problem happens because most women are unaware about what some flats are really doing to their feet.
It's funny because so many women think that they're better off wearing flats than heels, but in reality, flats can be worse than heels 100 times over.
But don't throw away those flats just yet. Experts say just swap the pointy-toed ones for a round or square-toe version, giving your toes that all-important wiggle room, alleviating pressure on the big toe.
Flats come in all different styles, all different types, all different construction. There are flats that are more flimsy than what we consider regular flats. You have to look at the shoe itself to determine if it's the right shoe for you.
He was the last king of England to die in battle, and now we are learning more about King Richard III's demise after his skeleton was found a few years ago. What other secrets may have been unearthed? We'll have that next on INN News.
Attention parents of boys who took Risperdal. Risperdal is for the treatment of ADHD, autism, and bipolar disorder, and has been linked to gynecomastia, a medical condition in which boys develop female breasts. If you're a parent of a boy who has developed female breasts after taking Risperdal or suffered swollen breast gland tissue or tenderness in one or both of the breasts, you could be entitled to substantial financial compensation.
Call 1-800-253-6052.
Time is limited to file a claim. Act now. Don't be a silent victim. Several claims have already been settled.
For free information and a free consultation, call 1-800-253-6052. That's 1-800-253-6052.
If you are a parent of a boy who has developed female breasts, call now.
Call now 1-800-253-6052.
Time is limited to file a claim. Act now.
That's 1-800-253-6052.
Hi, Mark Gill here with Chop Magic. You'll love the way this beauty can chop, mince, slice, and dice in seconds. Watch, chop a whole onion in 1 second. No odors, no tears. It's even strong enough to go through solid sweet potatoes, yet easily chops delicate tomatoes to perfection. The secret? 12 ultra-sharp precision blades that guarantee uniform results every time. Snap on the dicing blade and instantly prepare fresh fruit salads, zesty salsa, or a mountain of garlic without it sticking to your hands. During this TV-only offer, you can get Chop Magic for $19.95. We'll also send you 2 perfect tortilla pans with recipe book. Now shape, bake, and create delicious tortilla bowls. But I'm not stopping there. Call now and get a second Chop Magic free. Just pay separate processing and handling. You get it all. A whopping $50 value for $19.95.
To order Chop Magic for $19.95 plus processing and handling, call 1-800-491-2602 or order online at buychopmagic.com.
On March 26, 530 years after his death, King Richard III will be buried for a second time. The bones of the English monarch were found in 2012 under what is now a parking lot in central England. Now, here's some new dirt to the story. Charlie DeGata reports.
It was with unbridled passion that archaeologists unearthed Britain's most exciting find in modern times.
So I'm just trying to see if there's any more bone that I can see attached. Yep, it's a skeleton. There's his other leg.
Yep, it's a skeleton, and there's his other leg. It's a new video just released of the historic moment archaeologists discovered the remains of King Richard III buried beneath a parking lot in northern England. A lot's happened since the resurrection back in 2012. But first, a quick history lesson on how a former King of England ended up hands tied in a shallow grave in Leicester. Richard had been killed in battle 5 centuries ago outside of town. A story preserved by Shakespeare, who gave him that immortal line.
A horse, my kingdom for a horse!
Alas, the horse never came, and what the king got instead, forensic teams have since confirmed, was 8 to 10 blows to the head. Scientists also found evidence of what's been described as humiliation injuries. And the twisted skeleton reinforced the notion that Richard suffered from scoliosis, curvature of the spine, and DNA evidence sealed the deal.
We've calculated a probability of these being the remains of Richard III at their most conservative, being 99.999%.
Analysis further established what he looked like: blue eyes, blonde hair that darkened as he got older. But that DNA dug up another skeleton of a kind found in closets, a break in the DNA of male ancestors.
The break, however, does raise other questions, more of a historical nature than, is this skeleton Richard?
Yeah, questions like whether an adulterous affair had in fact broken the royal line of succession. Awkward, blurring the bloodlines through the royal family, right down to little Prince George. Heads have rolled for less, so we should leave it there. And royal ancestry aside, all that remains is what to do with the king's remains. There's a visitor center where he used to lie, but King Richard III is to have a proper burial at Leicester Cathedral later this month with a full funeral procession, meaning he may get that horse he wanted after all.
Maybe this pooch really needed a vacation. How his trip was cut short, though, next on INN News.
There are two big mistakes you or a family member can make buying Medicare supplement insurance. One, choosing the wrong plan. There are many choices, and they can be confusing. You need a knowledgeable professional to help select the right plan for you. Two, paying too much. The Medicare benefits of each plan are the same, no matter which insurance company you choose, but the cost can vary tremendously, which is why you need SelectQuote Senior. An experienced SelectQuote professional will carefully explain the pros and cons of each plan. Then, impartially shop a select group of highly rated insurance companies like these to help find your best rate. Get the expertise and savings SelectQuote is known for.
Just call 1-800-823-6818. 1-800-823-6818. SelectQuote Senior. We shop, you save.
Attention parents of boys who took Risperdal. Risperdal is for the treatment of ADHD, autism, and bipolar disorder, and has been linked to gynecomastia, a medical condition in which boys develop female breasts. If you are a parent of a boy who has developed female breasts after taking Risperdal, you could be entitled to substantial financial compensation.
For free information and a free consultation, call 1-800-964-0271.
If you're one of the millions of Americans who are disabled and unable to work, you may be entitled to disability benefits through Social Security. Receiving benefits is your right if you suffer from a physical or mental disability. Whether you're applying for the first time or you've already been denied, we can help. You'll be matched up with an advocate who will evaluate your situation, handle your application, and deal with Social Security for you. And best of all, there's no fee until you receive benefits. Call today.
A black hard-sided suitcase triggers an alarm at LaGuardia Airport that requires a TSA officer to open the luggage to inspect its contents. And imagine his surprise when he opened the suitcase to find a beige and brown Chihuahua staring back up at him. The TSA worked with the airline to locate the traveler and reunite her with her dog. The dog's owner was just as surprised as the officer who found it. The dog had just climbed into the suitcase and curled up in some clothing while she was packing for her trip. She had no idea the little pup had crawled in. So what would you do? She did what any woman would do. She called her husband, who picked up the dog at the airport and took him home. So no trip for the pooch. From all of us here at INN, thank you so much for joining us here. We'll see you back here tomorrow. I'm Roy Hobbs. So long.